My name's Julian Harrison. I am a equality and diversity consultant. I've worked in that field for sort of 15, 20 years now. With regard to U.matter, it was great actually because I met Marie Nugent at a Centre for BME Health meeting. She came to those meetings. I was doing some work for the Centre for BME Health, and she came with this idea of a mental health wellbeing campaign. And I sort of says, well, look, if you want some help, just let me know. And we've got into discussion, and it started from there. You know, we came up with a whole range of different activities initially. Mind apples is not my invention as a phrase. It is a sort of recognised phrase within positive mental health circles. I think it comes from the sort of apple a day keeps the doctor away sort of thing. And the premise is quite simple, really. We're quite more used to talking about things that we do for our physical health, positive things that we do for our physical health, but we're perhaps not so on the boil or even want to talk about these sorts of things with regard to our mental health. So all we do, literally, is look at everyday things that people do to maintain their mental health and to get over some of the stresses, anxieties, worries, of everyday life. So we ask people what they do to deal with stress. What do they do when they're worried? What do they do when they're anxious? What activities they fall back on when they've had a bad day at work? It's that sort of thing. And we began, and for the first 2 or 3 years of its existence, we were based in cafes, in the 6 Degrees Cafe latterly on London Road, and we would meet for an hour once a month, and we would have a session and we'd talk about positive mental health things. We'd ask people to tell us what they do, what tactics they've come across, what works for them, and we debate them, we discuss them, we try them out, and of course we ask some sort of key mental health questions to do with actually people's well-beings as well. So it's quite a big. There's a lot to cram into an hour, but doing it regularly, I think, has been a real bonus for us. Every session, we would gain a new person. How that would happen, we weren't always too sure. Word of mouth, primarily, I think. Friends of friends, contact, and so forth. People were obviously telling other people, this is perhaps not your usual mental health session. That it was focused very much on positivity, on everyday things that people can use. So it was a useful session, and it wasn't just simply people talking about their worries. I think we actively encourage people to a certain extent not to talk about why they were feeling low, why they were anxious, why they were stressed, unless they really wanted to, of course. The conversation was all about what they did when that happened. So I guess it took for granted the fact that every one of us goes through those things. You know, there isn't a human being alive that doesn't get stressed and doesn't get worried and doesn't get anxious, doesn't have down periods. Obviously, for people like me with a mental illness, all those things are a little bit more serious. They're magnified times 10, 100, 1,000 sometimes. But all the focus was on, what you did when you were going through that that type of situation, what me time meant, what me space meant, what me activity meant, and I guess success breeds success, and people began to talk about it within the circles they were in, and we just got more and more people, and that was always very encouraging. Not just that we kept and retained people who would come every time, but that we always managed to recruit somebody new. Mind Apples lends itself just as easily to doing things on Zoom. We very, very quickly transferred over, started the sessions. We decided not just to go monthly, but to do it fortnightly. For the simple reason that I think people probably, certainly at the start of the first lockdown, I think people needed that more regular event, the regular opportunity to meet and to talk and so forth. So, and we've maintained that ever since. We've kept them up as fortnightly sessions. it has meant that we've lost one or two of the people that would regularly come to the face-to-face sessions. I'm presuming, obviously, people not always comfortable with technology, and I can totally understand that. It's not the natural terrain for me either. But it did mean, of course, that we would actually gotten some new people. Some new people were attracted to us because it was on Zoom, because they could join us from the comfort of their own home. And we've regularly now got a sort of regular clientele of people, some of whom are the same as what we got face to face. Some are different. And of course, the other big thing that we've had with the sort of fortnightly sessions on Zoom is that we're not confined geographically anymore. With the face-to-face sessions, realistically, because they took place on a Thursday evening, it would be people in and around the city of Leicester. But of course, doing it on Zoom means you're open up to anybody, anywhere in the world. And we did a special session at an event called 10-10-10, which was a really fabulous event that looked at mental illness and talked about mental illness with my friend John Costa on the Documentary Media Centre for a good 10 hours on World Mental Health Day. We did a Mind Apple session there. And we managed to get people from other parts of the world that joined us for Mind Apples type sessions. So it opens up the barriers. The format is exactly the same. We prepare people, we send them the login details. Sometimes we pose a question to them. This is the question we're going to look at on Thursday night. Have a think about it. What we're doing now, of course, is we increasingly make use of our Facebook page. So we're asking people to think about things to bring to the session, but also to post on the page. So I guess it's opened up really a new world, and I think in that sense it's been a very, very positive succession to the face-to-face. Obviously, we thought about this. We've been thinking about it all along, really, under the pretext that at some point, hopefully sooner or later, that COVID will allow us, or the treatment of COVID will allow us to meet face to face again. And obviously, we're looking forward to that, because I think that is a good indication that we're perhaps getting back to some sort of sense of normality in society. But I think the Zoom sessions have been such a success that we'd be loath and we'd be stupid a little bit to sort of ditch them just to go back to face to face. So I think what we're deciding to do when we're able to do face to face is alternate effectively. So we'll do the monthly face to face sessions as it was before, but we'll intersperse those monthly sessions with a Zoom Mind Apple session as well. So that might get the same people in some respects, but I suspect it will get different people as well. So, and it gives people the option, if they don't want to go, come out for a variety of reasons, illness perhaps being one of them, different arrangements that they're going in their life and so on, that they can resort to joining the virtual Mind Apples on Zoom. So it's the best of both worlds, really. And I think, we've learnt that the face-to-face was a success, and we found out that virtual Mind Apples is a success, so we've just got to keep them going. I think having a sort of umbrella body behind the whole project, and obviously other projects as well, is a real advantage, because there were things that U.matter helps us with that would be quite difficult to do, I think, probably on our own. That's not just the usual, making arrangements, having the U.matter Zoom account, which is a fabulous thing. It doesn't mean that we're not limited to the sort of time limited aspects of Zoom that can be there. But helping in promotion, doing what we're doing now. We've obviously done blogs on Mind Apples. Having the U.matter Facebook page as a resort, website page is a great resort for us. It complements our Facebook page, which is getting even more popular with people from all over the place contributing various things. So, put together, having the specific stuff that we do within the Mind Apples project, but having access to an additional level above us that can do things that we would find difficult is a massive advantage. helps us to promote things, helps us to reach new audiences. So, it's really been invaluable, and we can't thank U.matter enough. It's great to have that backup.